Hello everyone, my name is Kathleen Smith and today I will be discussing EDL 850 Educational Law, Module 12, Tort Liability. First, we'll start with the definition of tort liability. Tort comes from the French word for wrong, a civil wrong or wrongful act, whether intentional or accidental, from which injury occurs to another. Torts include all negligent cases, as well as intentional wrongs which result in harm. Case 1. Central Middle School, bullying drives student to attempt suicide. In this case that started in 1998, a Central Middle School student, a boy who excelled at science and who had earned a pilot's license by the age of 14, tried to hang himself. Saturday morning at home, according to daily news reports from the time, paramedics restarted his breathing through CPR, but the boy had suffered extensive and irreversible brain damage, and years later he wore diapers and was fed through a tube. His father walked his wheelchair for an hour each night around the university center to get him out of the house. And the conclusion was from the parents that the middle school was liable because of the bullying. Reactive and proactive measures. The reactive, counseling on site for all students, hire a psychologist for each school building, and hall monitoring increased. Proactive, training for all staff on bullying and suicide awareness. Case 2. The district was sued for sexual assault in elementary schools. In 2006, there was a case in Alaska District that was settled with the family of a first grader who was sexually assaulted in the bathroom of an Anchorage elementary school by another first grader for $110,000 and 10 years of counseling. Reactive and proactive measures for Case 2. Reactive. Students go to the bathroom alone or with a teacher at all times. No two students are allowed in the bathroom together. Proactive. Awareness classes for students on protection of their own bodies and how to talk to adults if they feel like they have been violated. Case 3. Alexa Stewart versus the Anchorage School District. Stewart was a Service High School student who in 2010 suffered a head injury after slamming into a concrete pillar while watching a pass at a flag football practice in the school cafeteria. A coach threw the pass. The coach that threw the pass said, "I'm not sure, didn't want anybody to be hurt. He's not a bad human being, but you throw a ball for a kid, they're going to try to catch it," Stewart's attorney, Michael Schneider, said. "And if you're doing that where there are a bunch of unguarded concrete pillars, we would argue that's unreasonable." Now the reactive and proactive measures for Case 3. Reactive, coach and entire staff get trained on safety of school. Proactive, setting building guidelines of where appropriate play can take place on school grounds. Case 4. An auto accident with a school bus. In Anchorage, a man says he was hurt after an accident with a school bus. And in this case, the district contends in court filings, the plaintiff was high on methadone and other prescriptive drugs and behind the wheel at the time of the accident. Reactive and proactive measures for Case 4. Reactive, defensive driving techniques taught to all bus drivers. And proactive, the same thing, defensive driving techniques taught to all bus drivers. Case 5. Stabbing close to high school. The plaintiff in one lawsuit is Lori Mibbs, who in 2009 was stabbed 29 times by her ex-boyfriend. who was a fellow student named Nicholas Chamberlain in the woods behind Service High School. He lured her there with the promise of a silver ring. Mepps is suing entities, including the district and the Alaska Department of Education, for what she says is negligence in failing to warn her of the danger posed by Chamberlain. Reactive and proactive measures, Case 5. Reactive, rules banning students from school property after a certain time, including the wooded areas. Proactive, placing signs on the property clearly stating that students should not access it. Now, there are 10 techniques of professional ethics that we could use to avoid tort liability as administrators. 1. Perform your duties, even when they seem boring or repetitive. And this can be for teachers or for administrators. If you are assigned to monitor the hall during lunch, make sure you do it. The day you miss it will be a day that possibly an injury could occur. Provide appropriate instructions. If you are a science teacher or teach a subject that involves students' use of equipment or tools, make sure you take the time to thoroughly review all safety procedures with students. 3. Adhere to school discipline rules. Don't make up your own. Use common sense and a level-headed approach to discipline. Students that are so unruly that they need harsh discipline should always be referred to the administrator. 4. Keep private information private. Do not discuss the performance of a student with anyone other than the student or the student's family. Frustration with coworkers is bound to happen from time to time. Do not get caught up in revenge-oriented gossip that can come back to haunt you. 5. Avoid touchy situations. Use extraordinary caution when touching students in any fashion. It is a sad reality that in today's environment, caring gestures can be construed the wrong way. 6. Keep written discipline reports. Document, and document. Keeping a log of student incident reports establishes a pattern of thoroughness and may be the important bit of evidence needed to defend your reputation when bogus charges are filed against you. 7. Document reports of maintenance issues. Keeping a simple journal of concerns you report to school administrations can absolve you from liability should attorneys ever point the finger at you. 8. Punish in pairs. Always have another school official present when disciplining a student if necessary. Discuss the nature of the conduct and reason for your discipline method with another person before carrying out the discipline. 9. Maintain your classroom and lab. Make it a habit to check the physical plant of any room or lab you work in on a regular basis. Having a checklist of areas to inspect can be valuable evidence and show your propensity for safety. Do what is best for the student is the final ethic. If you always act in the best interest of your students and make sure you do not let personal frustration or anger affect your decisions, liability is greatly diminished. Thank you for watching my video on tort liability, and have a great day.